Alright, I'm back.
Oh, that was a very quick second. Let's
Yeah, I'm just
go.
grabbing something to drink. But yeah, so yeah, Star Wars. I don't know.
Star
I'm.
Wars.
I mean, the other main problem here is that there have been like 4 origins of the rebellion, and like I don't know which
Sure.
ones are still canon.
The Nor's always fun. And what does canon even mean? It means
Yeah,
Disney approved it. Who cares?
yeah, exactly. It's all fake.
It's all fake. And when I started like coming to that personal understanding, it made me go, "Oh, I understand more so the appeal of headcanon and fan fiction."
I mean, fan
And
fiction is.
And I will leave it there because it is still not for me.
Yes. I mean, I don't know. I was definitely one of the people who was like kind of annoyed when they like erased all the canon. Like I've kind of come into a much more like congenial relationship with it. It looks like it doesn't matter, and also like most of that stuff deserved to be destroyed.
Sure, yeah, there was like something that I think got mentioned on A More Civilized Age, whether you heard it or not. I don't know, but it was like, have you seen the state of Star Wars right before the Disney acquisition? Because it was the shitty Dance Connect game with the parody of Raiden Solo called I'm Han Solo. So,
Yeah.
what was the state of Star Wars truly in 2011 and 12 anyway?
Oh yeah. No, look, I engaged more with the pre-Disney, um, like expanded universe than most people, and definitely more than you and him. And like this is not me like calling you guys out or anything, just like kind of stating
No,
a
like
fact.
I do think
And
EU rankings is like, I don't know, Duncan and I are maybe tied, just me with more like books and him more with games.
yeah, but let me tell you, there was some dire stuff.
Yeah.
Like I brought up the Yuuzhan Vong jokingly a couple of times, but like no, seriously, it's an awful thing that they decided to stretch out into like a like 50 book series for some reason, because that was just the shit that was being done with Star Wars while there were no like big movies.
Yeah,
They're
and
like,
something
let's.
I do appreciate about Dave Filoni is he's a guy who was like super into all of that regardless.
Mm-hmm.
So like he has the power to try and add nods to those things for the people like him while still being like, okay, but like a lot of it wasn't good, so we're gonna make some changes.
Yeah, like there's really. I understand a lot of people's connection to it. I get kind of like pouring a lot of like time and effort and like creating like this sort of like relationship with this work, and then like the corporate overlord just being like, no, that's not that. It's not real anymore. Who cares? Like
Right.
all the only people we're gonna get rid of this, and only people are gonna care are a bunch of stupid fucking nerds. And it's just like, but I'm that stupid fucking nerd.
Sure.
Like I get having a complex relationship with that, but at the same time, like we didn't lose much. And I think we
Yeah,
can be
and
honest with ourselves about that.
also in reality, we didn't lose anything.
I mean, yes, we also didn't lose anything.
Yeah, like books with Mara Jade being a cool badass Jedi like ex-assassin, that stuff still exists. Like, go have fun. Read
Yeah,
about Luke Skywalker's wife, Mara Jade, and if you want, go watch Luke Skywalker die alone and doing his best to fix his mistakes. Like,
yes,
both of these things can exist.
yep, absolutely.
Yay, a world of deep fiction where many authors are able to leave their mark.
Yes,
The reason comic books are good.
yep. I do love comic books. But yeah, so it's like, um, yeah, we weren't giving up too much.
I do like something that should be incorporated in some way or another at some point. This guy Beak. I really like from the Thrawn trilogy. Like, still my favorite part of that. I think is just the concept of the Salmiri, or however it's pronounced, which is just the Force-attuned salamanders who cancel out the
Yes,
Force because of natural evolution reasons.
I like that bit a lot too. I think
Yeah.
it's a very natural part of a world, and it does a good job. Like I've seen people kind of complain about that fact. It's just like, oh, it reads like a RPG source book. Like the Force has like a counter, and it's just like I don't think that's how that. I don't agree with that.
Yeah,
Where,
if
like,
the Force is a living part of this world, it will
Yeah.
show itself in more ways than Mux.
Yeah, like the idea that there are animals attuned to the Force is like that makes perfect sense. If this is something that flows through all living things and can be sensed by certain people who are attuned to it, then yeah, some animals are naturally going to be Force sensitive.
Yeah, now I do understand a worry that is raised from time to time, like on More Civilized Age. They just talked about this on the Patreon episode from like this month. Is that like, okay, but now we're getting really close to, oh, you know, some races, some alien races are they're just too stupid for the Force and stuff like that, which is like, it has to be written very carefully to not just be that.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. And I mean, Star Wars has definitely kind of tread that ground too. Like,
Yes. And like, for the Star Wars reasons, I'm perfectly okay with, oh, this race on this planet has this relationship with the Force because of this biological reason, but because of the way our world is, you can't be doing that.
yes, like
You can't just
obviously,
be like, these people have a closer relationship with God because their ears are big.
yeah, yeah. Like, there's obviously a very careful balancing act, and Star Wars has often not balanced it.
I'm only 20 years away from catching up on the Fantastic Four, which I know sounds like a lot, but it isn't in the grand scope.
Oh, absolutely. I understand.
And I think after that, I might just see what Star Wars comics exist on Marvel Unlimited.
Well, yeah, that'd be interesting. There's also, you can see what Star Wars comics exist on my shelf right now.
Oh? Do tell.
Like almost the entire collection of one of the greatest comics ever written, the Star Wars Old Republic comic book series.
I do like things that intrigue me about Star Wars. The Old Republic. The Sith War. The Jedi Mandalorian War. Weird Jedis and weird Siths just going out and doing their own thing, unsupervised, forever.
Yeah, I have a lot of like the old, like there was a time when like comics were mainly about exploring like the origin of like the Republic, and I have a bunch of those. They're good as I remember them. Like I could lend them to you.
Yeah, I'm down to clown. Oh, what was the like the theology of the Force and like the formation of the Jedi Order around the Force. I don't know if that story exists, but I would love to read it.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly what they say about it, but I will pull those out of. Well, they're just sitting on my shelf. I'll double check to make sure what I've got. But the Tales of the Jedi, I think, is what they're called, which is like kind of the early origins of like the Jedi Order back when like the Republic was still being like still brand new. Fun fact: did you know that at one point lightsabers had like power packs?
Like they needed batteries.
Yes, so that the Jedi would wear like backpacks, and they would like hook up their lightsabers to their backpacks.
Yes.
And there's like comic panels where it's just like guys like plugging in their lightsaber to their backpack because their lightsaber doesn't have power to run. It needs a big like power thing, which is just great.
I'm for it.
Yeah.
It
I remember
makes being a Jedi harder. Yes.
Yes.
Show it
I
to
remember
me.
really enjoying that stuff. So. Yeah, like I do really like the Old Republic stuff because it allows for like some really like disconnected stuff, and kind of lets them like the authors just kind of really cut loose with it.
Yeah, I like it's authors being able to cut loose with it is why we get a lot of the very good Star Wars that exists.
Yes.
I've said it before, I'll say it again. The Ninth Jedi and the Village Bride from Star Wars Visions. Incredible stuff. The idea that you don't pick a kyber crystal, and the kyber crystal itself is what chooses the color of your lightsaber, and so Sith have to go looking for Well, okay, actually, the idea of Sith having synthetic kyber crystals and that's why they're red, that I do like. But
Yeah.
the idea that it is your personal connection with the Force that determines your color of lightsaber, excellent stuff. An
Yeah.
ever-shifting color of your personal lightsaber as you go through your own personal journey. Incredible.
Yes.
A tangible reflection of your faith and connection with harmony and peace and nature. Brilliant. Why haven't we had this forever?
Because Star Wars is primarily made by cowards.
Oh, also, it's one guy who just really kind of likes samurais and old westerns, but...
Yeah. Gotta love George.
Oh my god, I'm fucking doing so poorly. Good thing I have a big-ass shield.
There you go.
Oh my god, okay, it doesn't help that he is also, like, just standing inside of me.
Yes. He likes flippy
Unrelentingly. What was that?
Stop with the flippy shit.
Stop with the charging at me constantly. Okay. Okay. We can breathe. We can take some drugs.
And fight.
Star Wars needs more drugs other than just spice, which they just stole from Dune.
Don't forget death sticks.
I did forget death sticks, which are, I feel like, not mentioned enough.
It's those are one of the things kind of Star Wars things I love, which is just this absurdly on the nose thing.
Listen.
What do we call our cigarettes in this universe? I just call them death sticks because they're sticks that cause death. Well,
I think George might just have been a straight edge hippie in the 60s.
I mean, being aggressively opposed to cigarettes is correct.
Are death sticks the cigarette equivalent?
I think so. Like, what else would they be?
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's just because drugs didn't really exist in George's mind when he was thinking about Star Wars at all, and then the Clone Wars, like, talked about spice a few times, and it just became very dare because of the time it was made.
Yeah, makes sense. I'm gonna find this Lucky Light.
Yeah, do it.
Oh, going well. I'm actually not really sure where it is. There's just too much, like, icons on the map right here.
How did that hit me? I guess it's scooped behind? Thank you, cat.
Oh, they're careful.
Yeah, I'm going to get the gold bug, which I forget what it gives me, but I have it now. Yeah, the
So you're doing that?
fire just by existing. Which is what happens when a cat sits on your legs when you're wearing sweatpants, it turns out.
Yeah, and it is hot.
Yeah. It needs to start cooling down. My calendar says September, and climate change be damned. I want a nice, cool fall.
Yes, it is unforgivable that it is this hot in September. Alright.
Granted, we have had a lot, like, the end of August, the last 2 weeks of August, did have, like, a decent amount of just, like, days that peaked at 80.
Yeah, we got a couple of those, but we can do better than that.
We can do better than that. We should.
And we will.
How?
I don't know. We just gotta...
Okay. I appreciate you having a concrete plan.
Yeah. But yeah, gotta get that weather under control. Too hot.
Dropping ice cubes in the ocean, etc.
Yeah. Futurama was right once again.
Once again.
Gotta drop bigger and bigger ices.
Just like Daddy does in his drinks. And then he gets mad. It's just better than Futurama, or than The Simpsons.
No, I don't think that's correct.
For the simple reasons of it started off the gate much better and it actually ended.
Well, that's not entirely true.
Season 1 of The Simpsons isn't very good.
Well, no, I'm not arguing that. I'm saying that you're saying Futurama ended, and I think that it's just demonstrably untrue.
In this moment, that is a falsehood because of capitalism, but
I mean,
it's not 40 seasons.
That is true. And, like, look, I'm not... It obviously hasn't reached, like, the heights of Simpsons, like, hubris yet. But I think we should be honest with ourselves that Futurama is also not very good at quitting while it's ahead.
No, but when it has been told it's going to end for real this time, it has done a good job with it.
Yes.
They have created multiple endings that were supposed to be conclusive and final that I believed when I watched.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm definitely not arguing that that it has like been worse within The Simpsons about that, because it hasn't. But it actually ended. No, it refused to end itself 3 times now.
Yeah, well. Hey, Matt Groening's definitely a billionaire, right?
Probably. He's not a billionaire. I think it'd be tough to be a billionaire off of like even like something as popular as The Simpsons, but he is definitely maybe he might be a billionaire.
I would like to believe that Matt Groening is a guy who realized what was happening and was able to avoid it. Just because, what are they called? What were his comics with the bunnies?
I don't remember.
But anyway, he had some good opinions at one time.
Oh yeah, that thing. I do not remember what that was called. I know what you're talking about.
Okay.
I think Matt Groening is definitely very smart and very funny. He's definitely one of the better comedic like writers in the last
sure.
like of the 20th century.
Two of the 3 most iconic and revered cartoon comedies of all time.
Yeah.
And The Simpsons is maybe one of the most revered maybe the most revered comedy television show of all time.
I think that's a strong possibility.
Like it's like what, that Seinfeld or Friends?
Yeah. Probably. I don't know, man. There's probably like some dark horse like pick, like maybe Arrested Development. Some people would argue. I don't know.
Sure. I wonder if even now Arrested Development is too cult to have the scale.
Yeah. That's probably true. Arrested Development, another show that I don't know. Arrested Development, like it's like going anymore, is it?
I think it's done for real this time.
And like, was that a show that everyone kind of agreed went 1 season too long?
I think people went every Netflix season too long.
Yeah, or was it both Netflix seasons? Because I couldn't tell people liked the first Netflix season. Was there only 1 Netflix season? Am I misremembering?
There were 2.
There were 2. All right, that's what I thought.
And I don't know. I think I like season 4 of Arrested Development more than most people, but it is still nowhere near the heights of the first 3 seasons of that television show.
Yeah. And I don't get Arrested Development, and like that's not anyone else's problem but mine. But I. You ever have those shows where like everyone thinks it's great and you're just like, I just don't understand.
Every prestige television show.
Fair. Yep.
And I recognize that is just because that Format does not appeal to me. I don't need a Sopranos. I don't need Breaking Bad. I'm sure they're very well made, and I might enjoy them if I actually gave them a chance. I just don't feel the need to.
Yeah, I'll probably watch Sopranos at some point. I'd like to watch Sopranos, but I have no desire to watch Breaking Bad. And look, if I wanted to watch Breaking Bad, they took the two best parts of it and made their own show.
What is the second best part of it?
Mike Ehrmantraut. He's like the old bald guy who's like this is what you're going to do.
Oh, right, the guy with the lumpy face. The lumpiest man. The lumpiest
man. The lumpiest man to ever exist, yes. Which is something I kind of feel bad about saying an actual person, but it's true.
Hey, listen, I think he knows what his face looks like.
Look, man, it got him like 10 years of work on like two of the most popular television shows on television. So like,
yeah,
he doesn't have much to complain about here.
His family is set for generations.
Yes.
Maybe only 2 or 3 generations, but still, hey.
Yeah, they're set for a while.
That's more than I've got.
Yeah.
And my face isn't aberrationally lumpy at all.
No, it's not.
A standard amount of lump on this face, I say.
Yeah, it's a standard amount. I mean, what should I be saying here? I think that's a better question.
No, you're a better judge than I think.
I think your face is, like standard lumpy, which is fine.
I would probably agree with yours.
Yeah, I think I'm also standard lumpy.
Yeah.
Which is to say, like, not really lumpy at all, but...
Not particularly, which is, unfortunately for Mike Ehrmantraut, the standard.
Yes. Jonathan Banks, I think, is his name.
Oh, the character's name is Mike Ehrmantraut?
Yes, the character's name is Mike Ehrmantraut, and the actor's name is Jonathan Banks.
Interesting. This is something that I learned for the first time today, in this moment.
And then they took Bob Odenkirk and Jonathan Banks and made their own television show. Bob Odenkirk, of course, being the most beloved man in America, somehow.
That might be true.
I honestly think it is true. Remember when he had a heart attack and like all of America was just like in like extreme agony, like waiting on for updates?
It's because he... Oh, there's Aluna Garan. Still? No? Yes. I mean, it's because he did a good job getting the heart of America with Better Call Saul, the brain of America with the drug show Breaking Bad, and then the weird part of America with Tim and Eric.
Yeah.
He got all 3 parts.
Yeah, he's got all of them.
Heart, soul, and brain. What did I say? Heart, soul, and
you said he had... Yeah,
brain,
I think weird.
Weird and brain? I don't know.
I think we can stop with that line here.
No, it's a bad line.
Yeah, I'm saying we can...
Poorly immediately.
Yeah. I'm saying we can stop. That is what I'm saying.
Me?
Yes, I'm freeing you. But yeah, no, I in a very weird turn of events, I do think Bob Odenkirk is legitimately the most beloved man in America. At least like the most beloved actor.
Okay. Oh, nice.
And then,
I don't know. I can't think of actors.
People love him.
People love Robert Downey Jr. right now. They still love
him. Do they? They do? Interesting. I mean, I don't think there's any reason for people to have stopped loving him, and I know people loved him at the height of, like,
sure,
like Iron Man, but...
Like, his peak was probably more 2016, 2015, but...
Yeah, like, obviously there's no reason, like, he's not done anything to, like, fall out of grace. He just hasn't, like, done much at all, is the thing. Like, he's not really been in the public eye, by my view, too much in the last, like 3 or 4 years.
Yeah,
at least since, like, Endgame.
Has he done things since Endgame?
No, I don't think so. Like, the only really big movie he's done since, like, Iron Man is, like, the Sherlock Holmes movies, and, there was, like, a Dr. Dolittle one that was terrible, I guess.
Oh, I saw that. That was the last movie I saw before COVID.
Seriously? I'm sorry.
It was Essentially in the
Wait,
category of Morbius.
Didn't you see Cats?
Oh yeah, but guess what came out 1 month after Cats?
Oh, interesting. Why did you watch? Were you like watching with like a child?
The thing is, I saw Cats immediately.
All right.
Like, I saw Rise of Skywalker in December of 2019, and then went next door to watch Cats. Like, nice. I did not pay for a ticket to Cats. I had friends who wanted to go see it. You
mentioned this. Then why did you watch Dr. Dolittle? Were you with a child, or was this a movie you decided you wanted to watch?
No, it was a date, and we thought it would be a hilarious time, and it was underwhelming, and we were both just like, well, it could have been worse, and we wish it was.
Yeah, all right, fair enough.
It needed to be either better or worse, and it was neither.
Yep. That's not surprising.
Yeah.
But yeah, Robert Downey Jr. just has not done much other than that, and I don't know if it's like by choice or if he just like can't break out of the Iron Man thing.
I've pulled up his. Doolittle after Endgame, and then he is apparently in the Christopher Nolan Oppenheimer movie, and I don't know if there's a director on Earth I trust less to tell the story of Robert Oppenheimer than Christopher Nolan.
Yeah, I don't.
Maybe the explosion guy who did the Transformers and
Michael Bay. Well, this is gonna say I think Michael Bay's Oppenheimer would be also terrible, but like I honestly would trust Michael Bay more than Christian Bale, just because Michael Bay I think does feel things very acutely, and I think his cynicism could play into the idea of Oppenheimer a bit more.
And you're not convinced that Christopher Nolan knows what feeling is?
No, like
I'm tempted to agree.
Like I try not to like give Christopher Nolan too much crap, and like obviously like the joke that like oh he's like a robot, like he's a movie directing robot, is put him into the ground a little bit, and like obviously he feels human emotion, but
I do believe. Okay, I will say it on the record that I do believe that noted American filmmaker Christopher Nolan feels emotion.
Isn't he British?
Wait, this would change things for me. British American. What does that mean?
British American. I think it means that he lives in America but grew up in Britain.
Nolan's childhood was split between London and Evanston, Illinois.
Oh no, so he is just straight up like both. Okay, interesting.
He is the British American.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely British American. Can't argue with that.
Do you think that's why his movies are the way that they are?
I would imagine that's a strong reason for it. Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I don't know. I am not really particularly looking forward to the Oppenheimer movie. And, like I'm not a huge Christopher Nolan guy. Personally.
No, I like The Dark Knight.
Yeah,
I've seen Inception now 3 times, and with each viewing, I like it less.
I still need to watch Inception. I don't know. I just like he's just a major blind spot for me because like besides like the Dark Knight trilogy, which I think is either great or like well, there's one movie that's pretty good, one movie that's very good, one movie that's legitimately great, and one movie that's pretty bad. And Dunkirk, which I actually thought was probably the best out of anything I've seen of him.
I can see
that. I just haven't watched many of his films, and like I've not watched his like really big one. But yeah.
And then he in 2019. Now this is possible that it was before. Wait, no. When did Avengers Endgame came out?
Was that summer of 2019?
Yes, it came out April 22nd. And then the last thing in television he was in is he was the host of a show called The Age of AI, which premiered in December. Okay, so he did a thing where he was a host about a technology show, an American science documentary streaming television series, narrated and hosted by RDJ, and Doolittle. Those are the 2 things that he has done since Endgame.
Yeah, it's not like he had a couple big roles during Iron Man time. But, like, I think he did do pretty well for himself in the early Marvel period. Like, considering he had, like, 2 pretty popular Sherlock Holmes movies, and then Tropic Thunder, which is generally, like, was well-liked. And
I need to actually watch Tropic Thunder. Like, I've seen, like,
Tropic Thunder
probably half of it just in pieces.
Tropical Thunder is very, very good. It's
Yes.
extremely funny, and I think it does
very much enjoyed the parts I saw.
I think it does a very good job obscuring kind of the Hollywood system, and like it's not like it is a pretty crude movie, and it's definitely like not nice to like the people it's like parodying. But
no, it is the modern equivalent in some ways to Blazing Saddles.
Yes, and it's definitely a harsh movie, and I think it's really good, and I think it's actually honestly probably great satire, but it is also a movie that is extremely problematic, and so I have trouble praising sometimes, like in public. But it comes with a lot of like, yeah, they really shouldn't have done that blackface.
Yes, we all understand the point that they were making, and it is a point that, in some ways, maybe needed to be made, but also you did do it.
Yeah, like it's the same with like their handling of mental health, which is like one, it makes an extremely good point about the way that Hollywood handles mental health is gross and bad, and also is gross and bad about it.
Yeah, it's a little bit different than having Richard Pryor be one of the screenwriters.
Yes. And I would highly recommend it. I definitely think it's worth watching, both because, like I said, it is good satire and is also just very funny, but it comes with those like kind of caveats of just like understand what you're getting into, which clearly you do.
Right.
But Tom Hanks, not Tom. What's his face? Tom, the Mission Impossible guy.
Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise, right? Playing he's in a fat suit, playing a extremely angry Hollywood executive is absolutely hilarious and also, again, kind of gross.
Sure. Especially considering who that guy is.
Yes.
Which, like, he may be a nice guy who is able to make fun of himself, but also everyone sees a shadow.
Yep. So, yeah, I would definitely say watch.
His character's name is Tug Speedman.
Yeah, Tug Speedman. He's in a bunch of like bad action movies that were like really popular for a while and have been falling off. So now he's trying to do his Oscar bait movie. It's very funny. You have Jack Black as a like guy who does like mostly like fart humor, and
because it's Jack Black,
and is extremely addicted to cocaine.
Sure.
Yeah. And then Robert Downey Jr.
A controversial quote: pigmentation alteration surgery.
Mm-hmm. The joke being that he is like a real actor who like method acts and takes it too far.
Yes. Downey said he modeled Lazarus on 3 actors: Russell Crowe, Daniel Day-Lewis, and Colin Farrell.
Yep.
Now, I know Daniel Day-Lewis is, of course, an insane method actor. I'm forced to assume so are the other two.
I think Russell Crowe is, like, very intense, is the idea. I don't know if he's necessarily, like, a...
Okay. Perhaps also, in some ways, making fun of Dr. Michael Morbius himself.
Yes.
I also do think that because RDJ does the film commentary in character, like, that immediately makes the movie worth a second viewing. Just inherently. Like, that is a very good bit.
Yep. And then... Oh yeah, Jay Baruchel's in it, randomly.
Yeah, I saw that he had, like... He's the 5th name, which is damn good for him.
Yeah, he's good in that. He's just playing like just kind of a normal actor. He's just kind of caught up in it and he does very well.
I will just always associate that guy with like Goon being kind of his darling.
Yeah.
That like anytime he's doing something successful, I'm like, hey, good for the Goon guy.
Yep. Yeah. Big fan of him just kind of making it work.
Yeah. Goon is good.
Goon is good. And it is extremely good, and man, I miss that it's not on Netflix, so I can't just randomly watch it sometimes.
Okay, with that, I'm going to retire.
Now, also,
Thank you, my friend Jordan.
before you go, what are you doing anything next weekend?
Yes, very much.
Okay.
There are shows both nights, and there's only going to be 2 of us.
Okay. Well, good luck with that. Never mind.
Yeah. It would
I
be
was just
nice
planning on
if
it.
I can leave Saturday night, so because I do want to do the Sunday show because that's Ninja Sex, but
No, yeah.
so I would like to be able to say, hey, you work tonight, I'll work tomorrow night, and you don't have to, but because I've been told by the person who will be there, I kind of want to see that show. I want to see what I'm interested in them. I heard a few people say, oh, I wish I could have gone to that, and knows that they're a comedy act.
Yeah.
So if he works that night, I'm not going to be like, yeah, only you work the other day. So.
Yep. Yeah. All right. That's cool. Yeah, I was
For what reason?
planning on tentatively going to this. It's called the French Market, which is just
French
like it's like a big French festival, and figured I would invite people along, but obviously that's not really in the cards. So, all right. Well,
Oh yeah, it doesn't appear so.
no, yeah. Well, whatever. Not a big deal. But
Where
yeah.
is this? It said
It's at
Mass in French, and so my mind immediately went, Mass Ave, but that's not what that means.
No, it is at St. Joan of Arc. It's a Catholic church.
Only 4 blocks from the Monon along 42nd Street. Oh, that's in the area.
Yeah, it's just like kind of in the middle of the neighborhood in like Broad Ripple area.
Well, would that I could. That sounds nice.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go there for a couple hours and eat like mussels and drink some wine and just kind of hang out.
Nice.
I
Well,
went a couple years ago and it was fun. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. But maybe I'll see if Tim wants to go. But yeah,
He's not as French as me. I've always said it.
no. Yeah, not as. I don't know. I just like. I feel like you are kind of into those sort of things, and like Tim is like, I don't know if you'd be as into it.
Perhaps, but who knows? Right?
I'll probably extend the invitation. But yeah.
Well, thank you for joining me on this evening of Monster Hunter.
It was fun. I enjoyed it.
Just the 2 of us.
Yeah. And we didn't even talk about comic books very much.
A lot about Star Wars, though.
Most about Star Wars. We just got the old reliables. Comic books and Star Wars.
You know what? We all have our old reliables, don't we?
Yes. All right.
All right, later.
Later.